All right, we're going to go ahead and continue on with our media availabilities this morning at Atlanta Motor Speedway. We are now joined by Christopher Bell, driver of the number 4 JBL Toyota for Kyle Busch Motorsports. Christopher, this is your first appearance here at Atlanta. Talk about expectations for this weekend.
Yeah, well, fortunately, the Kyle Busch Motorsports camp was able to come over here and test a couple weeks ago, so the weather was pretty similar, and hopefully we were able to learn something to carry on into today.
All right, we'll go ahead and open it up to questions. We'll start here with Bob and then go to Jerry and Jeff.
Well, I mean, you're right. I have flipped a couple times in my open wheel days, but the biggest thing about the stock car is it might not hurt as bad because you got more material around you, but the G-forces were way more. Just because I think the biggest thing was you're sitting to the left compared to an open wheel car. You're in the center of the car, so everything's flipping around you. Where in the stock cars, you're off to the side of the truck. So whenever you start barrel rolling, it's trying to throw you out of the car.
All right, we'll go to Jerry and then Jeff Glock.
Jerry Jordan, Performance Racing Network and Kick on the Tires. Did you have time to think about anything as you were flipping through the air? And if so, what was going through your head?
Basically, I was just trying to wonder when this thing was going to stop. And whenever you start flipping, it just feels like it goes on forever. And I was in the tuck position, just gripping the wheel as tight as I could, just hoping it would stop. And whenever it would stop, then no one would hit me, and I'd be on all fours. And luckily, my spotter, he called over to me that everyone's gone by, nobody's hit you, and just waiting for it to stop.
All right, we'll go to Jeff.
Jeff Gluck from USA Today. When it did stop, what was your first thought? Did you have to check yourself and be like, okay, wow, I'm still here? And also, after that, what were the injuries like? The bruises and stuff like that. How did you feel that day, the day after, and stuff like that?
So when I stopped, you got a lot of adrenaline, and so I felt really good. As soon as I got done crashing, I was on the radio, man, I'm fine, let me out of this thing, and attempted to get the window net down, but it was stuck. But then after a couple minutes of fumbling with it, I was able to get it down and hopped out. But walking to the ambulance, I was pretty dizzy, and then by the time I got there, I was really dizzy. And as far as the injuries, no injuries at all except bruising, and my face was a little bruised afterwards, but other than that, I was fine. A couple days later, I was fine, and woke up the next morning and felt 100% until I got out of bed, and then once I got out of bed, I realized I couldn't move quite as fast. But after a couple days, I was all gone, and I'm good to go.
All right, we'll go to Kelly, Nate, and then to the far right.
Kelly Crandall from PopularSpeed.com. Christopher, how you're here talking about this, you seem in good spirits. How quickly will you be able to put this out of your mind by the time you get back in the truck for practice and move on with this year?
Well, I guess that's one thing different than the open wheel stuff. With the open wheel program, you run 100 races a year, so it's, you flip on Saturday, you're back racing Sunday. But, luckily we didn't have a huge off or a huge break to, where you have to sit there and ponder it. So I'm looking forward to today and tomorrow to, get Daytona back behind us and where we can start, hopefully start fresh with a good run here this weekend.
All right, Nate.
Nate Ryan, NBC Sports. You said that you experienced dizziness. They took you to the hospital. Is that why? And were they looking for a concussion? Did they find any symptoms of that or anything like that? So I'm just really thankful that everyone before me that have taken hard crashes, and NASCAR has done all their research about it, and they just wanted to take me in for precautionary reasons, and that's probably why they took me back there. I was a little bit nauseous, but not bad, and went there, did concussion tests, but thankfully I never really took a super hard hit, and I didn't have a concussion.
All right, we'll go to Mark and then Woody.
When everybody saw it, obviously, it was pretty spectacular. When you finally had a chance to look at the replay, what was your reaction when you saw it the first time?
Probably, I flipped after watching the replay. Well, my biggest thing was I just wanted to see how it all started, just because in the truck you really don't realize how you get moved around and how it starts. But then after that, the flip actually, I was just really thankful that it never hit really hard on the cage or on the nose, or it was all kind of just barrel rolls. And so I'm just really grateful that it never hit the super hard hit.
Was it spectacular to you when you saw it as it was to just about anybody that initially?
Yeah, definitely. It's like looking back at it. I watched Larson's crash, and I grew up racing with Larson, so he's my buddy. And then watching Austin Dillon at Daytona last year, you think that, it'll never happen to me. That'll never happen to me. And then next thing you know, it is happening to you. So watching it was definitely an eye-opener, because even after I went through the crash, it still didn't really sink in. But then whenever I got to watch myself flipping, it's like, wow, that did happen to me. So puts everything in perspective for sure.
All right, we'll go to Woody and then Chris.
Woody came with MRN. You mentioned a moment ago not getting a lot of breaks in your previous life in racing, but you're about to have one. What are you going to do to stay busy between this and Martinsville?
So as of right now, I got one open wheel race scheduled, and that's in 2 weeks. And then from there, going to go do some late model racing. So living my dream, man. Get to race as much as I can, and thankful for the opportunities that I've got, and just going to keep racing.
All right, we'll go to Chris.
Chris Knight, CatchFans.com. Chris, can you talk about your relationship with JBL's speakers and what that's been like to work with them so far this year?
Well, it's a sponsorship that's really worked out good, just because I'm young. I like music, and I mean, everybody likes music. So I enjoy their product, and I use their product on a daily basis. So it's cool to be able to have someone that you can relate to, and someone that you actually enjoy their product.
All right, and we'll finish up with Jeff.
Did you say your face got bruised, and how did that happen?
Yeah, my face was pretty bruised, and I basically just my forehead and down a little bit to my eyes. But I think that's just from I don't know if it was because of my helmet. That was the first race on my helmet, so it was really tight. And a couple times I've crashed open wheel cars, and just because the helmet's so tight on my head, I'll get a little bit of bruising. But I couldn't tell you if it's from the helmet being tight or just from the series of barrel rolls.
All right, Christopher, thanks for joining us today, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.